Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the UK Connection, alongside, as always, Simon Bray and Steven Reid, the Bray Dog, and that random guy from Scotland.
Yeah.
How come I don't have a nickname?
Oh, you do. We just don't tell you.
Oh, okay. I'll figure it out one of these days, right? Or I'll find out, I should say. Okay. It's,
I'll get back to you eventually.
okay. All right. I'll be interested to know what it is because your nicknames are fun. I'm sure I will get fun with it.
Oh, in the comments, people.
Yes, yes. We take ideas on this show, so
Oh,
All right, we have a very cool part two to an episode we did however many months ago. I lost track. 2 months ago? Yeah, which we really enjoyed doing. And I think we came up with so many possibilities for that show. We decided to save them for future shows. So we probably have enough for another episode or two as the grassy knoll returns once again. Simon's off in the distance, hiding behind the bushes over there.
come back, Simon. Come back.
Yes, please come back. There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just really shit.
oh, no, he's back. He's back.
Oh, look
What
at
the
this. It
heck?
may not be working, but it makes it look like you've got a multi-camera setup here.
Yes,
Look at
he's got the switcher over there. So we're going camera one, camera two, just like that. Seamless, right? Except there's better lighting on one camera than the other one for whatever reason. I don't know.
It's just lit for the supposedly good camera.
Yes, there you go.
Jesus.
See what happens when you have these massive budgets, people, for these episodes.
it.
Ah, yes. So, but before we start talking about one shot or one album wonders, those bands that only ever released one album, we have a little bit of business to take care of first. Simon, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking a Peter's Kolsch, which is once again all the way from Germany. Look at that. We're all drinking the same. Yep. Uh, looks like a mill in Preston as far as I can see, but it's all good. Yeah, yeah, thank you. I think we've all poured it. Oh, there you go. Stephen, tell Pete again about Bros. Go on. Let's see if he looks more
Well, back in the day, whenever Bros were, late 80s, early 90s, I can't remember. I,
It's 80s.
Thank you. Grolsch was the beer that came with these things on them. And Bros fans, Brosettes, Brossers, I have no idea, used to remove these bits because you can just, well, actually, yeah, we can't have these. You used to take these straight out the bottle and added them to the front of their shoes with the Grolsch logo on. I don't really know why.
I
All I
don't.
know is my other half, when she saw this bottle, went, "Oh, look, a Bros beer." Anyway, so that's that story.
Yeah. Ross were really shit, weren't they? They're really
Yes.
terrible.
I will say
Terrible.
I was very enamored and when I opened mine because it makes this nice little poof sound, which I was like, "Ooh, it's the little things that get me, guys." But I'm assuming it's going to taste pretty terrific because it kind of looks like this. I have it in my
It's
Grolsch,
more,
not my
that's the
Grolsch,
way,
my
that's the word I'm
Kolsch.
using. I'm using Moorish to describe it. I'm ready to have another sip and virtually finish it by the time Steven said what he thinks about it. I'm definitely going for at least 4 out of 5. It's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, David, that sent us all these
Yes.
because
Wow.
that's this is number two, and this is good.
I'm a big fan of Kolsch beers in general. This is exceptional.
I mean, I gave the Dunkel that we had 2 weeks ago 4.5 out of 5. I'm heading in the same direction. This is tremendous stuff. It's very smooth, but with lots of flavour.
Yeah.
Usually, or often, that can equal, they can kind of negate each other out. It's either smooth or it's got lots of flavour. This is smooth with lots of flavour. Very, very good indeed.
You know what I like about Kolsch's? They're easy drinking beers. There's like a little hint of sweetness and maltiness, but not a lot. And
Yep.
it's just, yeah, this is really good.
Off.
Look at that. Just as the Bray dog was about to get naked. Oh, he's back.
He's back. I'm gonna give this a 4.75.
Whoa, boom. Look at that.
Yeah.
Simon's so quick he's gone again. I think you're going to have to go for the NAF camera
No,
option.
I'm gonna
Camera number one is malfunctioning.
camera number 2 is not working either. Oh, there we go. I'm
There we
dark.
go. There we are. There we are.
No, I'm light. dark.
There's no way this is going to make the entire episode.
No, not a chance. It's also a slightly smaller bottle. That's all
Yeah, I
it
was
is.
going to say that is true. What's the ABV on this?
Five.
Five,
Yeah.
4.8 to be exact.
4.8, yeah.
Mine says five.
Yours says five?
Yeah.
No, there's two different notifications on it, strangely enough.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep, it's 4.8
Oh
in the
yeah,
small.
it says five on one side and 4.8 on the
Yeah,
other. That's
4.8 in the small type, so I presume it's 4.8. Don't know. That is unusual. Yeah. Anyway, it's fab.
cheers, guys. Very, very good. Very good.
Cheers.
Mm, that's scrumptious. I like that. I could dangerously drink quite a few of those. Well, my quite a few would be like three, but
As I think I mentioned before, when I was in Germany at the start of the year, first time I've ever been, fabulous. Berlin was amazing.
Play,
We,
did you?
we
Wow, you've
went,
never mentioned it.
no, never, no, no, no.
Tell me
We
more.
we went to a bar and we basically they sold Kolsch, whatever I can't actually remember the beer because there's quite a lot of it. That was all they had on tap really. And if you got the small glass like Pete's got rather than the big glass like I've got, once it was drained, they just replaced it. They didn't ask, they just replaced it and they marked it on your coaster. So they just marked how many in your coaster you got, and that's what they charged you at the end. And the only way you could signify that you didn't want another was by doing that on your glass.
yep.
There you go. And that was a very good evening. Ah,
I would bet it was.
mm.
A whole evening of just automatic Coles Phillips. I like that. That's
And
pretty.
the food was fabulous too. But there you go.
Oh, there
Anyway,
you go.
another
Very.
story.
So, one album wonders. So again, the concepts here are bands or artists that only ever released one album. That's it. Then they disappeared off the face of the earth. But we really like them. And I have a lot of these sort of bands in my catalog. And as I was required to do or not do, I do not have one Rock Candy reissue today. Not one. Not one. Doesn't mean that won't pop up on future episodes, but today I stayed away from the candy. No
Was
putting
it?
my hand in the cookie jar, or the candy jar, I should say, today. I've got all sorts of other stuff. So, should we do one at a time or two at a time? What do then go around a couple times? What do you think?
We got five, two, and one.
Two,
No,
and one. That works
yes,
for me.
whatever.
Okay.
Let's do it that way.
I've got three, which is what I was told to get. You told me on personally three. Three's what I've got.
Well, you can do three. We've got five.
I sure shit won't be listening to your
Or I can
five.
leave two aside for next time. I have plenty of these, so it's like, whatever.
Let's do whatever we want to do.
Okay, I'm fine. All right, Simon, what's your first selection then?
Oh, I don't know. I've got three here, so three to go for, haven't I? I don't know. Right. So I've got the first one. This is from 2021. So maybe there will be a second one, but somehow I suspect no. I've shown this before on the program. This is Prophecy by Tau. Who are Tau? I can hear you. I can hear you ask. Oh, there they are. They're Tau. Yes. Ooh.
TAO?
Yeah. And let's see if you can spot the theme here. Okay. Album credits. Produced by Gary Hughes. Mixed and mastered by Dennis Ward. So all songs written by Gary Hughes. Recorded at the Doghouse Studio, Blackpool, England. Yes. Which reminds me, when you do come over to the UK, Peter, I do think that Blackpool is the place you should come to. I think you would enjoy it.
Are you being serious or joking? I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Yes, go for a summer season. Go and see Frank Carson, even though he's dead, or you sorry, he is, yeah, or other Roy Chubby Brown, other people like that. You would love Blackpool.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, the Nolans. No, Blackpool Tower. Anyhow, so this was made in Blackpool, right? Which is always a good thing. The lead singer is Kevin. Kevin. Oh Christ, that's not good, is it? Karen Fell. She's Gary Hughes's girlfriend. Chris Gold on guitars, and David Rossingana on bass guitars. Backing vocal additional musicians include Daryl Treesperch from Ten, Gary Hughes backing vocals, keyboards, Hey, are you seeing the thing there? So it's basically 10 with a female singer.
I was going to say, yeah, it sounds like it.
There are people out there who don't like 10. Looking at you, Stephen.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. It's
It's
I,
still to this day I do not understand, but okay. It's
I
I think we've
happen
had that conversation before.
We have more than once, I think.
I happen to really like 10, and I happen to really like this record. It is lazy to describe it as 10 with a female vocalist, but that is what it sounds like. She's a good solid vocalist, really good tunes. Whether or not they didn't fit on a 10 album, I'm not entirely sure. Really good, really really good, hook laden, melodic. If you get to see they made two videos. Um, basically them in a room staring, wandering around, staring at the camera and doing things. Just have a look for them. They're cheap but good. That kind of way. As is the way for lots of bands these days. You got to cut your cloth accordingly. I mean, it's a really good 10 album, but with a female singer,
Not
and it's
quite 10.
one of those that makes you want to say, "Wow, do you know, back in 1985, this would have been a big hit." 2025, no, not really, but I like it. I like it, and I invite you to Blackpool, Peter.
Okay.
You know you want to. I mean, I won't be there myself, but you know,
You can invite me, but you won't be there.
God, no, no.
All of Blackpool has invited me, right? So
Yeah, all the love 'em. Yeah, so
okay.
good melodic rock. Yeah,
So you could safely call that 10.5 or 10 plus one, right? Sort of.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm so confused, but yes, it's it's
Now
it's
you know how I feel half the time.
10-ish.
Right,
Yeah.
so we are paring it down to three, which means that I've had to discard one of my five. Okay. So I would have there was a thought behind this. And it becomes a part maybe more of my second one. But as we mentioned before, we get lots of people that make nice comments. Some that make not so nice comments, but people that make lots of nice comments underneath our videos. And I really, really enjoyed going through the comments for the first show like this that we did. There was so many excellent suggestions, and it inspired me to listen to one of these albums I hadn't listened to in a long time. So all of my 5 stroke, 4 stroke, 3 choices have come from the comments from the last show. There
Nice.
were all things that I read and thought, yeah, okay, that's a really good choice. Why did I not have that? Or this could have made it and it just didn't. Or Pete had just done a show on Shadow King prior to the last one that we did. Simon looks crestfallen there.
No, one of mine was mentioned in the comments on the last show, so
There you go. So, Pete, I think you just done a show regarding albums that should have been huge that weren't. Shadow King should have been huge but
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, 100%.
Um, if you don't know who this was, it's kind of a supergroup, kind of. They don't really play up to that on the cover either. I mean, Lou Gramm from Foreigner is on vocals. That is a good start. You can't really go wrong with that. Not necessarily the most obvious guitar partner for Lou Gramm of Foreigner would be Vivian Campbell, then ex of Dio. That makes no sense at all until you hear the album, people. It's just so good. You've got on bass, you've got Bruce Turgan, who was with Lou Gramm on and off right the way through the years, right at the very start, right the way through to Foreigner again at certain points. And you have got Donny Iris and the Cruisers drummer, Kevin Valentine, who people might know better as a kind of ghost drummer. He appears on 1 or 2 Kiss albums that his name isn't on. He appears on a Cinderella album that his name isn't on, and all this kind of stuff. Kevin Valentine was very much a fixer. Not getting the drum sound we want here. Give Kev a phone was the way that it worked. So this was released in 1991. It was produced by Keith Olsen. All of those things will tell you that this is just a phenomenal AOR melodic rock album. It is, in my humble opinion, the best underground AOR album that I can think of. It's classy, it's considered, it is full of memorable choruses, and yet it rocks. Vivian Campbell's here for a reason. He's not laying down big riffs and kind of guitar growls all over the place. But when he's let loose, he does not waste it. Some of the solos on this are great, and this is a keyboard and guitar album. It's not a keyboard heavy album. It's a really, really good balance on this. And I would suggest that this is one of my favorite albums of the 90s in general, from any genre, just in general. It's one of my top three Lou Gramm albums because he's fantastic on it. He's absolutely, I think this is peak Graham era into those solo albums, really beyond the kind of the peak Foreigner time. But I think he is absolutely brilliant. The opening four songs, What Would It Take, Anytime, Anywhere, Once Upon a Time, and You Don't Even Know I'm Alive, are just absolutely stunning. But if you want to know just how much form Lou Gramm was on at this stage, listen to the closing track, which is Russia, which is just a bit of gentle guitar and him singing. And it's one of the best vocals that he ever put down. I cannot say enough good things about the one and only, sadly, album from Shadow King. I absolutely love this album.
Yeah, it was like criminally ignored, and let's face it, especially here, the record label didn't push it at all. It's
No,
like when there was word that that was coming out, there was a little bit of a buzz, and then it came out and it just sank. They didn't promote any of the songs on the radio. I don't even remember if there was an MTV video at the time of anything on there. And it's like it's got some notable members, but I think like at the time, all they were really interested in is getting Foreigner back together, and that was kind of like that was. I think they just buried this album, to be
yeah,
honest. I really think that's what happened because I absolutely agree with you. I bought that when it first came out. I was excited about it. I really enjoyed it, and it just went nowhere.
yeah.
Absolutely. There's so many great songs on there. It sounds great. It's produced well. I agree that he's singing up a storm. It's one of his best vocal performances. It does rock. You know what else too? Came a couple years too late.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The movement had kind of gone by that point. I think they, from memory, they played maybe one or two shows in the UK, and that was it. That was the whole thing. And then it was burst before it happened, really. So
Yeah.
criminal shame.
Yeah, it's a greit choice. It's a really good album. All right, since we're whittling down to three, I'm going to save two of my picks for next time that are, I think, a little bit more kind of like well known, and I'm going to take the three least well known out of the five that I had set aside. So the first one, I'm going to go all the way to Scotland for a pretty unknown band, very underground band. I think folks who have been following me here on the channel for a long time have probably heard me mention them over the years here and there, especially when I used to do those Forgotten Favorites shows, way back in the day. But this is an album from 1972, a band called Scotland. And don't be fooled by what I'm going to show you in a second, because I think the album cover doesn't really portray what the album is all about. The band is Bodkin, self-titled. Now that looks like a pretty evil, almost like black metal looking album cover, right? This is a later reissue from a Karma Records, but I remember seeing this and like thinking, "Wow, I need that. It looks evil as all hell. It's probably heavy as all hell. Look at this. How cool does that look?" It's only got 5 tracks, all these long songs, whatever. It's not really what I thought it was going to be. But you know what? What it is pretty damn good. This is a Atomic Rooster type of a band. So think Atomic Rooster, maybe a little Deep Purple Uriah Heep, maybe a little Traffic, maybe a little Crazy World of Arthur Brown, maybe a little Vanilla Fudge, maybe a little Iron Butterfly. Heavy, heavy Hammond organ, heavy guitars, kind of psychedelic, kind of heavy, kind of proto-prog, proto-metal, and really, really good. And it's quite memorable too. It's produced kind of rough. It's kind of raw. And the guys in the band, and this is the weird ass thing here. This is one of those strange things that opens up in all sorts of weird ways. And you're kind of like, how do I open this? It's got this crazy snarling wolf on the inside. It opens up even further in the middle here. It's like, where is the CD in this? Oh, it's in the sleeve, right? Kind of bizarre. Anyway, and no, it opens up as a cross, right? Which is kind of crazy too. That's bizarre, right? A little bit of interesting marketing here for a label that really isn't really known much for doing anything, but whatever. So the guys in the band were all like in their 20s, except for one dude. So we got Mick Riddle, who was age 25 at the time, on lead guitar. You've got Doug Rome, age 21, on Hammond organ. Uh, Hammond organ C3 and A2, plus Leslie Cabinet. They want to make sure to tell you that. Dick Snedden on drums. He was 34, so he was the elder statesman of the band. Bill Anderson on bass guitar, age 28, and Zeke Holm or Hume on vocals, age 21. He's really good. Now, has what else is this band known for? Really nothing. So they kind of released this on a small underground label at the time. I can't even figure out how the hell to refold this back now. I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right, that's not the way it goes. Does this go in first? Does that go? Oh boy. Anyway, it's really good. Like I said, if you like any of the bands that I mentioned before, specifically to me, I get like a Atomic Rooster circa when Death Walks Behind You vibe. There's the first two tracks are called 3 Days After Death, Part One and Part Two. It's like roughly 16-minute long, two-part suite. It's absolutely killer. The riffs are great. The Hammond organ is awesome. You got Auntie Mary's Trash Can, also really good, 11 minutes long. After Your Lumber and Plastic Man are the last two tracks, and they're like 5, 6 minutes long. They're just really good, solid, psychedelic, heavy rock tunes. But really good. I bought this on a whim back in the day and I've loved it ever since. And I highly urge you to check it out if you like that kind of early 70s proto prog, proto metal, dark and spooky kind of heavy rock stuff that's got a lot of psychedelia to it. So really, really good. Check it out. And it's been reissued a ton of times. This came out in 2000 on the Karma Records label, but it's got prior reissues and ones that have come out since. And you can find it. It may not look like this, but what the original cover looked like, I have no idea. But very, very, very good album.
Mm. Two things. Number one, the cover to that album looks like the sort of thing that Davey would drop into a group chat. Yeah, just saying. Anyhow, and the second thing, you ever had an album, yeah, that you got and you thought, oh Christ, don't like this. This is shite. Don't like it. Don't like it. And then you put it back in your collection and you left it for a while. And by that I mean a really long while. You ever done that? And then
Decade, perhaps.
you think, I'm gonna dig that out and give it another go round. And then you think, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. This is so good. I love this. And then somebody mentions it in the comments, and you think, I'm going to hoover that one up just before Stephen does, just in case. Just because that's the kind of guy that I really am. Yeah, so I'm going back to 1991 as well. Yeah. And I'm going for, are you ready, kids? Chrissy Steele's Magnet to Steel. That's the camera now, isn't it? Yeah. There you go. Oh my God. I've so enjoyed revisiting this yet again. Um, didn't like it when it came out because a little bit too when I was younger, I thought, well, that's a little bit like nondescript, generic kind of metal. But as I've gone older, I've learned to really appreciate this. And when I'm listening to this, and I'll tell you more about it in a second, I like to imagine I'm the drummer in this band. And I'm sat there keeping time with one hand and twiddling my drumsticks as if I'm Roxy Petrucci in the other hand, like that. It's that kind of record. It's really really good. I hated it so much when it came out. It's really I really thought that's crap, and the last song's really really crap, and the last song's one of my favorite songs. Ugh. Yeah. Anyhow, practically everything on here is written by the brilliantly named Brian Too Loud McLeod, who died really early, didn't he? He
Not
did.
after he died, but yeah, that's
Yeah, but no, it's a great handle, though, isn't it?
It's nearly as good as Bray Dog, isn't it? But nonetheless, yeah, I
not
think, yeah,
quite.
not quite. Of course, it's mixed by Mike Fraser. So there's some pedigree bit behind this as well. Tim Fion's all over it. Jeff Parris is on it. But what you get from this record is you get utter commitment from Chrissy Steele. Not in her sound, but in the way that she attacks everything. She reminds me of Graham Bonham. Yeah, Graham Bonnet. Sorry, Graham Bonham. No, Graham Bonnet. She's right. She's just going for it all the time, and she's marginally better looking than Graham as well. So,
I would
you
say
know,
so.
yeah, I know, but he looks good with his grey hair now, doesn't he? It's Throwing it out. I like it. Yeah. So, Love You Till It Hurts is a great opener. Armed and Dangerous. Move over. I'm ready. Mm, I'm moving. Love Don't Last Forever is the best Damn Yankees power ballad not made by Damn Yankees.
Never thought of that, but that's absolutely correct.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just so good all the way down, just like so hummable. And I've even learned to love since we decided to do this. The cover version of "Cry Myself to Sleep," the Romeo's Daughter song. I don't love it as much as the original. This is just such a great record. And it's such a pleasure when you think, "Oh, that was so crap when I got it," and now really, really like it. Yeah, I appreciate she made some singles in the early 2020s, but this is the only out I know. Yeah. Wikipedia wouldn't lie to me, would it?
No, 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 no. It's everything's 100% accurate on there.
There you go. So, yeah, Magnet Steel by Chrissy Steele. See what they did there? Magnet to Steel, like she's in Virgin Steel or something like that. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. I'll be here all week.
Do you know what? It's interesting you talking that was not one of my choices. It's a great choice, by the way. About the vocals, and you see she attacks everything. I don't know why, but I've always envisaged her. She's almost running up to the microphone just before she starts. It's almost like she's going, ah! It's just given so much.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
So good. I think that's a really good choice. There you go.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right, so this was the band that inspired me to go through the comments and think, what else have I got that's been mentioned here that really is worth talking about on the show? Lots, to be fair. But what I whittled it down to was, well, no band worth their salt ever played Perth in Scotland. Okay, well, Gun have played. That's true though. Gun have played Perth in Scotland. They're okay. And I like New Model
Hey,
Army.
maybe Bodkin did back in the day. Who knows, right? You never.
Maybe they did. Maybe they're from here. And New Model Army did many, many moons ago. And yes, for the guy that continually asks, I will rank their albums one of these days. Okay. Well, okay. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's too many. Okay. But really, apart from that, the only band that ever made an effort to play here was the band of many albums, Thunder. So I can't include them. However, the band that opened for them was Jagged Edge. Okay. This is not their only album. This is their only EP. So this doesn't count. I'm not having this. It's not part of it. Okay. But that was what they were pushing at the time. So they're one and done because they've done one album. And it's not this. This is better than the album, though. That's the problem. Okay. They were absolutely brilliant on the night. Thunder, who are one of my favourite bands of all time and all that kind of stuff, were not the band that I came home talking about. I came home talking about Jagged Edge. So they were singer Matty Alfonsetti, who at that stage had been in Bam Bam Boys. I'm not making this shut up, honestly. Guitarist Mike Gray, bassist Andy Robbins, and drummer Fabio Del Rio. And really, this I think was 1990, so the same era again. So the problem for them, I think, at that point was that they were too late to catch on to the 80s crowd. And that's what this album is, or this EP, sorry. It's full on kind of 80s rock, lots of attitude, great singer, excellent guitarist. So by the time that 1991's Fuel for Your Soul came out, this is the one and only album. This is a one and done album, okay? And they're mean and moody. They've got a budget for hair and things now, okay?
I mean,
I think
they look like rock stars. They look like they're pretty confident, and yeah.
these guys are meaning it. Look at this. Some stylist has entered the building, is what's happened here. Moody lights. It's all happening now, do you know? It's not someone got lost in a wine cellar, which
Yeah.
Steve he was. This is great, by the way. And they ended up, for me, and it's interesting because what the Bray Dog has just said is what happened for me with this, because I wasn't ready for a kind of pulled back, heavy blues sound that this gave me, because the EP didn't do that. And this was one of those albums that I bought and thought, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's not bad, but it's not what I wanted. And it took me a long time to kind of realize that what that album is, what Fuel for Your Soul is, if Bad Company had formed in the late 80s, heading into the 90s, they would sound like this. That's what they would sound like. It's got that really classy, kind of knowing blues, but it's wrapped up in a hard rock soul. It's kind of mid paced, when you first hear the album, you do kind of think it needs a little bit more oomph, but it doesn't. It's really classy. It's really considered. Really good musicians on this album. Mike Gray, the guitarist, because they split really not long after this album came out. He was briefly in another band called Skin, and the singer in that band was a guy called Neville McDonald from Cougar, who I introduced you to many, many, many moons ago. And certainly the Bray Dog liked it. I don't know if you listened to it, Pete. So one of those albums, I had to cover that bit on the album cover. Matti Alfonsetti sang on a million albums, from Skin Trade to Radioactive, Road to Ruin, who were kind of like a rainbow kind of sort of sounding band, solo albums. Fabio Del Rio, he played drums on Bruce Dickinson's first solo album, Tattooed Millionaire. So these guys kind of stayed on the scene for a long, long time. But it took me almost equally as long to come round to this. And putting it back on now, I was just whisked back 35 years, but with better ears. Kind of not just needing it to be all kind of high kicking and, uber excitement all the time. This is a really clever, considered, grown up hard rock blues album that was just wrong for the times more than anything else. So, yeah, Feel for Your Soul by Jagged Edge is my second choice.
A lot of what you were saying to describe that album kind of reminds me of how I think about that one and done Cobra album. Speak about,
Hmm.
I had to get a Rock Candy release in here
Oh,
somewhere, right? Is it kind of similar to that? Because that reminds me of like a Bad Company kind of recorded in, the original Bad Company lineup recorded in the 80s.
yes, it's along those lines. I think that it's obvious which side of the Atlantic those two bands are on, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Jagged Edge sound like a UK version of that. There's more of that. I don't know. It's less flash than anything else. But yeah, that's quite a good comparison. I think you'd like that, Pete.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. So you were describing it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of what I was saying about the Cobra album. And I had never heard that Cobra band before, and I'm loving that. So
That's a great album too.
yeah, really good, really good. All right, so as to not do two early 70s releases in a row, I'll save one of them for my last pick. I'm going to go also to the 90s, to 1994, to a band that was one and done. I think they always planned to do another one, but it never happened because the main band that these two guys were from kind of kept them busy most of the time. The band and the album is titled Dr. Butcher. So, of course, this is John Oliva and Chris Caffrey from Savatage, who, after John had kind of left Savatage shortly after his brother Chris passed away, he decided to go try and maybe do some different things. He kind of was still writing for the band, but he gave up the lead vocal slot to Zach Stevens, and Chris was playing second guitar in the band and some keyboards, and he kind of came and went a couple times. And so they wanted to kind of do a little project together, and that's exactly what they did. So they put this album, they wrote and recorded this album in 1994. Originally with basically John on vocals, Chris on guitars, John Osborne on drums, and both John and Chris were playing the bass on the album. But then they recorded like a bunch of tracks in that configuration. Then they brought in a bunch of other people to play stuff on here. So we got Hal Patino adding some bass to this, of course, from King Diamond's band. We've got Jeff Plate doing some drums, also from Savatage and TSO and Metal Church and whatnot. Paul Morris shows up on here. Dave Z shows up on here. So there's various other people who appear on this record, but it's basically like a throwback to the classic, really heavy early Savatage albums. I mean, I remember the time because the couple Savatage albums that came out before this were a little less heavy, a little more artsy, like Streets, and some of those albums are not quite the juggernaut that like Sirens is, or Hall of the Mountain King, or Power of the Night. So they kind of went back for that angry sound. And for a lot of us long time Savatage fans, hearing John on vocals again, singing like John Oliva was a welcome return. So I remember this went over very, very well with a lot of Savatage fans, but they couldn't kind of make it happen. And then before you know it, Savatage is kind of regrouping, and Chris goes back to Savatage, and John starts writing for them again. And before you know it, you've got Dead Winter Dead and Wake of Magellan, and basically that led into the formation of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So the Dr. Butcher project kind of fell by the wayside. And I know I grew up with Chris, so I know him a million years, and I can't tell you how many times over the years. He's like, yeah, John and I are looking to maybe put Dr. Butcher back together again. And we're talking about writing and doing some stuff, and it's never happened. So I think it's just one of those bands that they always wanted to bring back, just never kind of happened. But as it is, great heavy album. Just sounds like heavy Sabotage, but still pretty melodic. I mean, Don't Talk to Me, Season of the Witch, really, really good. Picture Wild, Lost in the Dark, classic tracks. Really, really heavy, kick-ass stuff. I think if you haven't heard it and you like Sabotage, definitely check it out. It's really good. Back to the Bray Dog.
Woof. Excellent. I think last time, I'm fairly confident, I must have done the Alan Collins band. I'm about 99.99999% confident that I would have done that last time. So let's stay in the same genre, so because I am nothing if not the Dog of Bray. Yeah, so 1979. Yes, Steve, 1979. What a year. The year I went to school. I know, big school, big school.
Oh, okay.
And this, my friends, is Contraband by Alias. Mm, yes, it's got, see if any of these names mean anything to you. Dorman Cogburn, Jimmy Doherty, Jojo Billingsley, yeah, Leon Wilkerson, there you go. Billy Powell, Barry Lee Harwood, Ricky Powell, not sure, and Artemis Pyle. Hmm.
Leonard Skinner, offshoot band, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. Apparently, this album was put together to get the Skinner guys playing after the crash. So definitely a good idea. It's a really nice record. I mean, it is an actually nice record. Just to look at that. That's really nice, isn't it? Nice. It's Mercury record. Look at that. I do like a nice
Mm.
vinyl, don't you? I like that. It's Southerny, as you would expect. Look at that. Don't you just love it when they can be asked to make actual proper sleeves and stuff?
Yes.
It's Southerny, but not too Southerny. You could, at times it sounds. I shit you not. It sounds a little bit like Dire Straits at the times. You know the guitars. It definitely sounds like Fogarts and the Quo to me at times.
Okay.
Which I feel like a good thing. There's an epic power ballad in Child of Fortune, which sounds a little bit like the Outlaws, which is always a good thing. Occasionally it drifts towards the kind of southern metal, like Skinner have never really attacked Dagger in the Night, for instance. It's a really good record. You know,
I've
it's
never
a
heard that. I don't know how that one escaped me.
well, there you go.
You think I would
Um,
like that? I probably would, right? I love all
you,
those guys. So.
you would. There's quite a lot of slidey guitar going on in the background. It's I don't want to say it's tastefully played, but it is. Sometimes put things are just well played and well structured, and I think, oh, I really appreciate that. That is good playing. There's no hits on it. You know, some of the drums sound like they were recorded in a different room. But it's 1979, you know what I mean? It's a little bit scratchy on occasions, but yeah, I really like it and really enjoyed refinding Alias Contraband.
Can
Never
I
released
just
on CD, but look
maybe
at
Pete,
vinyl.
Pete looking off screen equals trying to order album?
Of course. I don't kid around here, you know? It's like I'm sitting here like, hmm. But the good thing is I can at least go listen to it, and I plan on doing that because, Simon and I are like, two brothers from different mothers when it comes to Southern rock. It's like I like to think that if there's a Southern rock band from that era that I haven't heard, I need to go hear it and I need to potentially own it. So yeah, I don't know how this one passed me by, but I
Just
mean,
for
this was a
information,
weird time after the crash, right? Because there were all these bands were being put together by members of the band. We had the Rosington Collins right around that same time, and that didn't last long, and that splintered into two groups, and yeah, it's
yeah, just for information for all those people in the comments that occasionally scream, "It's on Spotify."
I
Thank
don't.
you. I know, but people do.
Yep.
People, and it is on Spotify under alias Contraband album Cogburn and Doherty.
Gotcha.
So everybody else has disappeared. So it is available, and it's next to my Spotify list to the new 38 special album. So that's nice.
Ah, cool.
And Return to Base by Slade. So yay. One day I'll get to listen to stuff just for me. But anyhow,
By the way, did I tell you Milestone is ordered and on its way to me?
you did. You're my favorite person. You're not a random Scottish guy.
No, no, nobody likes those guys.
No.
But
Anyhow,
at least when they wrap up a show, they can remember their name, Pete, can't they?
Oh, you saw that, didn't you?
I thought, no, 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 you're not Steven Reid.
I am nothing but a creature of habit. That's what that was all about. It's not that I didn't mind know my name, but I'm used to saying things in a certain order when we're together. And like you weren't in that video, and I thought you were. And he was like, I was just coming out. I'm like, oh Jesus, yeah. You're on my mind, Stephen
There
Reid.
you go. Yeah. I can only apologize for that. Wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but there you go. Okay, so for my last choice, yeah, okay, I'm going to cheat here. I'm not cheating, but I am cheating because I took this choice. I took this choices from the comments. Okay, so other people agree that this is a one and done albums. Okay, so going back to 1980, and this is the one and only album by Russia. Okay, this came out through Warner Brothers. The lineup for this album, these dudes on the back here: Thomas Richard Brighton on guitars and vocals, Richard Allen White on keys and vocals. They all do vocals, but it's important to mention them because the backing vocals are amazing. Larry Tuttle on bass and vocals, Jeff Swisstack on drums, and Griff Stevens on lead vocals, woodwinds, plural, and railroad springs. Okay, I didn't write the liner notes, but it says it everywhere. If you Google it, and it says that. Okay, so yeah, Russia, wrong band name and wrong album cover for an outfit from Seattle, obviously. Yeah, and in this day and age, that was enough to just kill this album, stone dead. Really, yeah. Who agreed to let things get this far? Called Russia. I have no idea. Imagine a mix of Aviary, City Boy, Supertramp, Trillion, Queen, Styx, Cheap Trick, maybe even a touch of Coney Hatch. That's what's happening here. This is another one of those bands, kind of like, I don't know, Max Webster, who were just too quirky for their own good. The standard of playing in this album and the songwriting is just ridiculously good, if intentionally, yeah, off kilter. Okay,
What
it's
year did
just
that come out? What year did that come out, Stephen? 1980?
1980, yeah. Okay. You need to hold on because there's more to Google, just letting you know.
Okay.
Okay. And it's just absolutely brilliant. Gotta Get It Away could be a long lost Cheap Trick, kind of one of those Cheap Trick songs that howls at you. Griff Stevens, it's controlled screaming he's doing in this song, but it's just so good. Nothing to Say has a kind of harder edged Supertramp vibe. There's quirky backing vocals that are almost barking at you, but it's so melodic. It's catchy beyond belief. I could admittedly do without the bizarre woodwinds blowing interlude of poignant clams. Okay, it's that kind of album, people. But when it's followed up by the attitude-packed riff fest and gloriously backing vocaled Piece of Ice, which even has a bit of saga about it, it really doesn't matter that there's one short misstep on the whole thing. It's a great album that is full of surprises, way too quirky to be a big hit. And it really is a shame that Russia are not kind of spoken about it, even in that kind of coulda shoulda vibe of Max Webster or City Boy. And obviously the band agreed because they also have another one and done album under the band name Force 10. Okay, now if you Google these bands, they're linked and they're joined and all that kind, they always come up separate. And other people put them in the comments and said, oh, the Russia album it's a great one and done. The Force 10 album, that's a great one and done. It's the same band, people, okay? And I'm sure that these people also knew that as well, to be fair. The only thing really that's different is Thomas Richard Brighton is now Tom Brighton. You know, we're cool now. Richard Allen White is Rick White. Not fooling anybody here. Really, it's semantics. This
I
is
think they were
Russia.
trying to get away from that Russian name. I
Yeah.
think
The record label basically went, So they're trying not to acknowledge the past. It is a little bit more straightforward, but you can tell it's the same band. It is still kind of crafted art rock with touches of pomp. It's got catchy, uplifting choruses, huge sing-alongs. The opening track, Watanabe, it's a great Native American stomp, but it's just so catchy and so memorable. Pictures of my favourite things is pop rock perfection. There's great guitar solos across both of these albums, and I haven't mentioned how good the keyboards are. It's just everything about these two albums are fantastic. And sadly, this also sank without a trace. So if you like that kind of really quirky, catchy, upbeat, mad pop isn't pop isn't prog, isn't rock, isn't you need both of these. So you need both of these one and done albums by the same band, Russia and Force 10.
So of course that sounds ridiculously right up my alley. Where did you get those CDs? Because I don't show any CDs ever being made.
These both came out from Wounded Bird.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
But
on Discogs and it just shows LPs, no CD reissues. Wow. Okay.
find sometimes, at the risk of going off on a different track entirely, that if you Google separately, not on Discogs, and put in for, say, Force 10 Wounded Bird Discogs, you'll find it. It will be there. It's just that because individuals list these albums, they get lost sometimes.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
Forced.
yes, definitely this one. The Russia album, I think, is bang on for UP. And if you like that, then the Force 10 is a no brainer too.
Oh, there we go. Ooh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's a few
Yeah,
albums that I know
that
it's
totally sounds up my alley.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I
mean,
think
you
that's
said Max Webster, City Boy, Saga, Aviary, done. Grant Arthur, if you're watching, Grant's probably already ordered it before I even had a chance to do so. But yeah, I've never heard. Something tells me I remember hearing about the name Russia. I mean, it was on Warner Brothers. I mean, that's
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that was never going to fly with that band name. I don't know why.
No, absolutely
Force
not.
10's a kind of a cool band name. I kind of like
Yeah, it's interesting because with the name Russia, that becomes a bad album cover. It's quite a cool album cover otherwise, and then they change the name to Force 10, which is quite good, and they give it a really shit album cover.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, it's oof,
So much right and so much wrong.
unbelievable. Well, speaking about really bad band names, let's go back to 1971. Fuzzy Duck. Yes, you heard it right, folks. Fuzzy Duck is the name of the band, and you got that cool kind of hip duck on the front, right? That's is that an afro on the duck too? Oh, this is just yeah, total wrong. But anyway, you flip it over though, it tells a different story. There you get a bunch of long-haired guys from the early 70s, British band, obviously. Playing guitars and Hammond organs there, and yeah, this is kind of along the same lines of the Bodkin pick that I mentioned before. This is Hammond organ, guitar driven hard rock. Me, a lot of prog people like this as well. It's got a little progginess to it. Think like, and the members of the band are comprised of folks from the Crazy World of Arthur Brown and Tucky Buzzard. Everybody ever heard of Tucky Buzzard? I covered Tucky Buzzard here on the channel years ago. Really, really good band that only released a couple albums. This is excellent. And if you love heavy Hammond organ and bluesy, virtuoso guitar solos and really good soulful vocals, you're gonna love this. Look past the little duck calling on like one of the tracks, whatever. I guess they kind of had to do that, but yeah, this is really, really good. And this is the God, who reissued this? This is Repertoire Records, I believe. Yeah. So, it comes in a little mini sleeve thing. Again, this is one of those things that's been reissued numerous times, but you get like a really cool, lengthy essay about the band and what they're all about. And I'll tell you who's in the band in a second. And you get a bunch of bonus tracks. But this is a very cool band. Again, they're kind of related to those other bands, but you listen to this and you like think, why wasn't this band bigger? Because 1971, this sort of thing was pretty popular. So we have Paul Francis on drums and percussion, Mike Hawksworth on bass and vocals and 12-string guitar and cello and cricket bat. I guess that's a real cricket bat. I guess you could use that to make some noises. I don't know. We got Ray Charland on organ and doing the duck vocals, and then Graham White on guitars, vocals, and acoustic guitar. So really, really good. Definitely worth seeking out. Like I said, if you like early 70s classic British hard rock with lots of Hammond organ, lots of great guitar work, really good vocals, memorable songs, it rocks. It's kind of proggy, really good. I've had this for ages, and I remember the first time I heard this, I was like, God, what's up with this strange name and weird album cover, but great music. Maybe all those things contributed to this going nowhere. I don't know, but yeah, it's really good. It's one of the great underground gems of the 70s. Fuzzy Duck, self-titled. Quack, quack, quack. Yeah, absolutely. So we have lots of stuff saved for another episode, folks. I literally have the two I wasn't going to use today, and I have like another 10, and I probably can think of more. And if I throw in the rock candy stuff, I got a lot more. So, we could be doing these episodes for the next year, and I'd be fine with it. So,
Yeah, I prepared four and then stumbled across the Jagged Edge one and thought that's in the comments and I scrapped the other four, so I'm already ready for part three.
there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. It's amazing how many, and again, maybe I don't think really anything we mentioned today is mainstream. I think the two that I kind of put aside are fairly mainstream. More like kind of super group things that happened once and that was it. But I've got a lot of other really obscure stuff that I haven't picked yet. So it's a lot of really good stuff.
So
So,
it's a good category. There's so many
oh yeah, yeah.
that fall into this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And one of the important thing we do want to mention is that one of the main reasons why we do this channel and we do what we do is to hopefully turn people on to new and old music that maybe you'd never heard before, bands you'd never heard before, right? So talking about some of this obscure one and done stuff is really cool for people who maybe only heard or have listened to the really popular bands, right? Because if you just force fed what the radio and MTV and the media sends you, you're never going to hear any of this stuff, right? You got to do a little digging, and for those folks who maybe don't have the time to do the digging, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to help. So yeah. So Stephen, you want to give everybody a hint of what's to come next time?
Yes, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to revisit a topic that we did a long time ago and said that it would be a regular thing. And it hasn't been, and it probably won't be, but we are going to go back and look at the Nawabahim, the new wave of British heavy metal era. It's similar to some of the other shows that we do where we're going to kind of talk about one big album. It's got an anniversary this year. The band are going to tour it. So we're going to do Wheels of Steel by Saxon. We're going to do an album that arguably should be bigger than it maybe is or was, and an underground classic. So we're going to do Demolition by Girls' School. And we're going to do an album that falls under the, and rightly so, new wave of British heavy metal umbrella. It doesn't necessarily sound exactly how you would picture a Nawabahim album to sound. So we're going to do Time Tells No Lies by Praying Mantis. So that's the three albums we're going to cover in 2 weeks' time.
That's a good one. That's a
Yep.
real good one. So stay tuned for that. But before we get to that episode, right? Or will it be after that episode? I just want to remind everybody we do have part two of the Slade series coming up on From the UK Connection, and we know a lot of you watched the recent episode. So stay tuned for part two of that, because all you Slade fans can't get enough of Slade, and these two gentlemen are going to bring more to you. So stay tuned for that and more. What do we got coming up on the channel tomorrow? Speaking of Grant Arthur, he and I will be ranking the albums of Artful Dodger. Very, very cool band that I'm pretty new to. And yeah, Simon, really good stuff here. If you kind of like a little bit of the Raspberries, a little bit of Cheap Trick, maybe the Small Faces and the Faces, that sort of thing. Very, very cool band. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. It's labeled. In fact, some of the vocals even remind me of Noddy from Slade a little bit in times because it's a little rougher than like what you'd hear from the Raspberries and whatnot. But really, really good stuff. This just one of those bands that just signed to Columbia, but never really caught on for whatever reason, but they have the songs. The songs are great, really good stuff. So that's coming up on tomorrow. So stay tuned for that and more. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. For Simon Bray and Steven Reid, I am Pete Pardo. Please list some more one and done bands down in the comments below because we could always use more bands and albums to listen to, of course, or maybe give us some ideas of stuff that we forgot about that we can do on future shows. So yeah, please do that. In the meantime, I'm going to go check out some Russia. I'm going to go check out some Force 10, and I'm going to go check out some Alias. So you never know. I might have some new additions to my collection in the not too distant future, right? So stay tuned. We'll see you all soon. For Simon and Steve and I and Pete, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.